By this time coming, one of those discussions we're having is say, it's coach Obebo Lucas Vasquez as a right back, and I say Obebo Fedi Valverde left back. What we debated say David Alaba left back na Auburn, M1 Madrid. I am sure one of the words I used was that me shocked. It looks like Okra Kwame now we are shocked. Sana Madrid supporters no. Now you be one say why would you want to risk David Alaba against Bukayo Saka? Say game neba or you're dangerous. Only Carlo Ancelotti and the name reason why. Now, one of those things that if you say I headache can say, Mama, in the next picture, I'll be one iconic picture, and if me Florentino Perez, I would be very, very angry. Maybe I'll call the next one and say, clearly, now to say Antonio Rudiger on your feet. Oh, I mean, throughout the season, Rudiger will back compesa and 9 in your feet. Back over about 12 minutes. You walk cross it. Rudy Gampa, Otsia, Kamavinga, say Kamavinga, Enyai Bono, all clear 99 years, you win to me clear. It's a combo Kamavinga, and Anka Eshe. Iti, look, this is Madrid for left center back, and a left back in Nietio. These are guys defending against Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard, Omumienu, and a bandage Ebo 9. Clearly, Omunya fits. It is on your face. Why would you want to raise this boy throughout Alaba Kradi on your face to cry? Abraham Frangasia ewo. We can't send back on. Because I thought it was a wrong decision for Carlo Ancelotti to do that. Now, you call the next one. Come in. Afei, yeah, discussing Arsenal playing very well. But maybe more 2 basic instances here. If you say Madrid for no, they could have taken advantage. Now, watch this. We'll come back. Watch this very well. Arsenal taking advantage of loose Real Madrid for fullbacks because you started game no. Equayana Martinelli, Eddie Fedi Valverde faso no. Me who say Fedi Valverde want children will game sada. You started game no. Martinelli footballer. Na Fedi Valverde home po. Bakuna Okoye crosser. Declan Rice boy call ball. Raul Asensio sa we vache. I think this was a clear penalty. Because direction na ball the aircon. Suddenly knew it was heading towards the goal. And the referee Angie. But on the other side, na Bukayo Saka so yeah. Alaba hu adwuma. Now, Ken, and Kwame, Biggie. Nkomo ya ye di ni nyina no. It is not as if Madrid did not create openings. You bought 3 minutes inside the game. Arsenal attack and a mistake ball ni be di Bukayo Saka ho. Bukayo Saka my back pass. And the ball be Vinicius Junior. It was 2v1. Now open day. You have more chance to say score. You go next one. Vinicius Junior miraculously or the ball as a so possible that the other. Or the ball or the ball na Arsenal cover because initially you the ball the man no it was Ono versus Saliba and away Mbappe 2v1. This was clear chance, early stages of the game. But on the ball, actually do a simple pass or the outside the foot, scale. Moments. You don't destroy moments like this. Let me give you one example again. Your ball came in 30th minute. Jude Bellingham, Emma, true pass to be Edema, Kylian Mbappe. I'm sure you do remember, for instance, no. Mbappe, this is another clear chance. Madrid could have taken advantage as at this stage. Goalless draw. Some of these things, when you will come back and haunt you. You are discussing Declan Rice, we'll come back to him. We are discussing a lot of positives about this game. One thing we are failing to know, they say, Madrid had chances. Mamo, just 2 examples. 3rd minute, Vinny, that was all passing. 30th minute today, this is Kylian Mbappe. 1v1 here, ball no boss goalkeeper. Do you do this? Now, you the next one. I'm in some more from. It's born yes, no. In the first half, Arsenal played very well. And then I highlighted the abane say one of those things it got me excited. Ne say Skelly na all ball left back no. Oya akwada. Obefrese Rodrigo Guesa. I was saying yemo no. But Ateta ye bold say oma akwada ne mbegina mfimfi obi. O inventing beka Thomas Tay party ho. That was a bold decision because Rodrigo gets a game no so. Just a boy in free midfield echo katake no. But Arsenal almost slow because anytime Arsenal here build up, Thomas Partey and Abrante for the scale, Omumienu, and it's just a double pivot. To ball easy because timer Mbappe any Vinicius Junior time on Mopen on ball. And Kwame, I was extremely disappointed in the Madrid team because it looks as if say they entered the game knowing say game no yamebo. You say we need game no Benabao. So their attitude was poor. Especially with Carlo Ancelotti. So pre-match, Okokan say, we are playing a 4-4-2. We want to be compact. And one of them say coach in the person or 1-0 be or lose 1-0 be crowd. Okay. Or them so called Benabao. Or bet me take advantage. That was poor. And no number players no even at 2-0. Who say Madrid for a serious about the game now. They were relaxed because they know say 2-0 Arsenal there. That was a bad attitude. Maybe I'll try you next one here monkomo. Now Yansha free kick no na yen kan wasam kakra because I want to highlight this. Kwame Biggie, this is the free kicker Declan Rice enyaye. Me pese me kire niam ba miensa bi wo free kick ni mo. Declan Rice enyo ne ne ball Arsenal free kick e wo ha. Never. The obo sa free kick no. Normally Martin Odegaard. And na wo call back picture na who say Odegaard any Declan Rice kasa because Odegaard na ball a free kick. And on ne kasa and now Odegaard ejai man because Nicolas Jova a catch that young next one Nicolas Jova a catch that Bukayo Saka so onyai board because Bukayo Saka ni and now Declan Rice ni mbeche ni many bebre see hwe iti Jova na ye nensa say yenko ball no he meant to say onye in swinger iti Declan Rice momu ba it is going here na Arsenal for aba be attack ahead. So what's Declan Rice? Shadi ye pa. Oh, share television no. Share Declan Rice ti. Shahin. Share baby a yes uncrossable in fanfa. So baby a niti ni share. Into at this stage, me sure say even the Arsenal players no crowd they knew say boy ne be Kelly ball no. Into Thibaut Courtois wall way one she share wall ni and I don't blame him. The reason I don't blame him say on him say Declan Rice on more free kick direct in share that. It's obey cross because the Declan Rice go be ball niti ehwe baby obe cross ball na dia ko. It's ideally so obi oni free kick bo bia goalkeeper na hye wall or the one extra player ebe gina ha because onim pefe say eba say ye bend ball no a we na be block it won say Kwame ni bigi ana me boa on say space da ha sia obi a betinya Kelly ball na dia hye. But Thibaut Courtois emfa no ho because he knows very well akwa running free kick ball any case coach we say ha na ye ba be cross so me dey it's let me say from so ba wall no ho but I don't blame him because I understand so no him say boy no ombo only for next one Declan Rice to spot sa angle no and the ball e dey share yenko next one and the ball share that was individual brilliant because clearly coach is membo obi asimembo on one kasa they feel say it was so bo because he had realized he said players now loose and no take advantage but to the second one so let me give you a closer look come in anyway enya wan kakra this is the Real Madrid wall and Arsenal for percent omusu goalkeeper nenim Thibaut Courtois enim and almost so 3-man wall. Now me pa mo cho FIFA mran saying about free kicks they say we are waller Arsenal player any who kwan so kwa question FIFA because enka na ne tire sapa FIFA says antokwa na because we free kick mu nti no yaye wall area also so pra wo dia obetimi eja space kakra dia to na also so why wo dia ya allowed it's clearly free kick no Thibaut Courtois ohu ball no come here say miki and who angle no who say big who no say because I said me who so who and me na me who near me ohu and me boa
there's a little space in between the two walls until possibly baby a Courtois gina ne die me feel say na was at least ohu
a ball ne wall Arsenal for the until ohu ball ni
so I say me who so me so ohu ball no.
If you say ye dia me no be yadene but at least in situations like this we a goalkeeper the little opportunity a obenya ne kakra na woni be botto no e wo so otimi ye bibi so what if the one kasa wo ne nko na ball ne dan mu na two ball ne fa so
well because me there me nya so ohu ball ni yi Into time at Declan Rice ebebo omuvu steps baako echo ha say ansana all beko the other direction. Into so you cannot say entirely without blaming Tibu Kutua, but the entire hardness so me dey beche Tibu Kutua and say baby abon e kwese ye no. I'm not sure so baby timi achi bon. Yenko next one. Baby abon e kwese me nya sure say goalkeeper we benya akokodru achi bon. Me pa cho mo am kakra man na Ghana for enhwa ehu ade ni. Baby abon yi kwese yi. Obere wachi bon. I mean, it's clearly a individual brilliance. And the Arsenal doing purpose. It is not as if Madrid did not get their chances. They got their chances, but lackadaisical attitude. You fan go baby. And when I saw Madrid players, you know, anything you upon game, no be some players Libya, and now we are going to do comeback. I saw Mutirimusa Arsenal there. Obudu about one best show. Into no lie. Anything almost show this kind of attitude in the game. Game no. There's a second Arsenal they show omo pa no. Omo share the most difficult part in omo share because it got to some point in time in the first half Tibu Kutu had to do double saves. Second half crowd oye ba ko miensa lady Alaba yi ba ko free pole ni mu Jude Bellingham yi ball ni free pole ni mu until they had their chances. Arsenal deserved to win. Omo ball no they were serious. Kids will be about the Dortmund game coming. Ade ba ko a me feel say afi Barcelona show mo home and away. Sa Niko Kovac no ne Hansi Flick they are very close. Obia ni mi yonko 2006 Trapattoni Ekochi Salzburg no. Na Hansi Flick an assistant. Na Niko Kovac also can one of the assistants no. And na Hansi Flick enya kwan call Germany ekwa Joachim Löw assistant. And then Niko Kovac and then the Musa be coach Frankfurt. Yo, Hansi Flick and on any back assistant. No, Hansi Flick became assistant coach at Bayern Munich. I mean, Niko Kovac as the senior coach. Now Hansi that's your assistant. Niko Bano the senior brother also can be your assistant. And now Pamo Niko Kovac, my Hansi Flick be taking over Bayern or the Bayern Munich course. Into these two coaches, but how well will you know someone? You know him by his status. By a compact, the individual players, you know, and necessary game. I feel say Barcelona. Oh, the individual qualities ahead of Dortmund. And yakasatinti. I play the advantage of Barcelona.
Arsenal eshe miensa. Real Madrid and Shibi. Eduma ye no. Obi a we tie me from day one besine. Semi analyze game me mfa team me support and analyze game me ye fair me ye critical na ma ye factual in my analysis. The fact say me ye Real Madrid ni no nche say everything I was say Kodema Real Madrid no say we Real Madrid fan na wo tie me wie na wo hwe me wie ya men ye blame games but Arsenal for abasumum born enra Arsenal boy no see a total dominance in football enra Arsenal enya total dominance over Real Madrid enya afa na me betena say na Carlo Ancelotti anya de ana Koto aye say ana David Alaba aye say debi born na Arsenal born enra no Arsenal for deserve every credit and acknowledgement. Arsenal na omo way better than Real Madrid enya afa na aba be blame games bia but Arsenal for ni mo mabaso because enra Arsenal am a 5-star performance. Say football na ye no. Traditionally, you will say key aspect of football. You will the tactical aspects, collective aspects, technical aspects, individual, physical, and the mental aspect of the game. And the football na ye you will say traditional aspect of the game. And obin cheme one aspect that Real Madrid dominating Arsenal. Every aspect of the game, Arsenal dominating Real Madrid. And to me, Bettina has said, may blame game say, Carlo Ancelotti and by rather, may the credit in Nabema Arteta, and Arsenal Bobo say, Enra, no me super, Enra Arsenal, am I a 5-star performance? After the Yenya Botanian breaking game down, the game ne call yeno, ye be a game, no be and want as here to say the BAC no. Can Enra Arsenal the better side? Arsenal game plan Arteta do room. Anyhow, our players need to execute the game plan. Not a excellent. Yes, as you say. And now Arsenal and attack more. On paper, now Arsenal ball fall back. 4 back na Arsenal bo no anytime be Arsenal be initiate attack no e be dey na 3 back mostly anytime be na Arsenal be attack bia no Luis Kelly ana obo as a left back e move back inside e be kapate ho as an invented midfielder. So anytime be Arsenal be initiate attack bia no e koka Saliba, Kirio and Timber we chiro as the 3 back. Na Thomas Partey and Luis Kelly are operating as the 2 deep central midfielders. And to between Partey and Abrante friends Luis Kelly, Partey acting as the director. Anytime be Arsenal be initiate attack. Now Luis Kelly are operating as the gateway to Arsenal for build up. No? So Arsenal build up mostly a 3-2 build up. So omo 3-2 build up now. Then omo 2 offensive number 8, Declan Rice and Abrante friend say Odegaard and move inside. Na player na obo as a first number na e was so leading Arsenal for attack. Merino no was a drop deep acting as a floating forward. So anytime Biano Arsenal, you see a game na se kosi point no because of Arsenal almost structure anyhow omo body up no Arsenal enya central control because Arsenal all the phases of omo build up na omo dominating Real Madrid. Arsenal first phase of omo build up omo shall say for omo goalkeeper David Raya. If David Raya ho na wanya Timber Saliba and Kirio. By Real Madrid 4 defender, 2 players omo di kan e defend no Mbappe ni Vinicius Junior. So Arsenal for first phase of omo build up no on benya 3 versus 2. Arsenal enya numerical advantage over Real Madrid in Arsenal first phase because Arsenal ye build up akwaku Kirio Saliba Timber nipa 3. Real Madrid the defender, Real Madrid for first phase of omo defense no Vinicius Junior Mbappe 2 versus 3. Yeah. Arsenal e advantage in omo first phase. Over Arsenal for second phase Luis Kelly inverted waba be dane midfielder. Our Partey as the director. Our Odegaard and Declan Rice as an offensive number 8. Merino na nka was inside the box no. Also drop deep ebe than floating midfielder. And in the midfield centrally, Arsenal for second phase almost 5 players. Against Real Madrid 4 midfielders Camavinga, Rodrigo, Jude Bellingham, Luka Modric 4. So in Arsenal so second phase of omo build up no almost 5 versus 4. And the idea no na Emma Arsenal dominating Real Madrid. Arsenal control game. Arsenal team beating Real Madrid for a defensive line in I say. The first phase of Arsenal build up, Arsenal were numbers. The second phase of Omo build up, Omo numbers. And Arsenal dominating Real Madrid from the central midfield. Arsenal in control. So centrally, it was Arsenal Football Club dominating Real Madrid. Now, Oko wide area now coming sir. A one as seven wo. On say na no be edin komo no say. Bukayo Saka, David Alaba. Fede Valverde, then Gabriel Martinelli 1 versus 1. But to be honest with you, Papa your friend is Arteta. Osuade. In terms of the tactical aspect of the game, Enra Arteta Businia man Carlo Ancelotti on the rings. On say anytime be a Real Madrid defend Biano on the left side. Baby a David Alaba wono. Oh expect Camavinga. And I said Jude Bellingham be defensive cover. Now I cover David Alaba. Now meant Miamba Benya 1 versus 1 versus Bukayo Saka. By Arsenal were so intelligent Arteta every day game to the stand say on my time Biano or planted Martin Odegaard. Ewo Camavinga and I said Jude Bellingham so. So the moment of planted Martin Odegaard on Camavinga Jude Bellingham no. Ebe force Bukayo Saka say Obenya 1 versus 1 against David Alaba. And the F1 say Real Madrid a defensive cover for David Alaba no. While planting Martin Odegaard on Real Madrid for defensive cover. And to say oh yeah Camavinga will focus on Odegaard so. Oh yeah Jude Bellingham will focus on Odegaard so. After the Asaba Benya Saka David Alaba 1 versus 1. And yan 1 versus 1 no. Saka the left side nyan Baby a Martinelli wono. The same plan, the same approach. Baby a Fede Valverde as the right back. Oh, expecting Rodrigo say on the very defensive cover for Fede Valverde. In this case, we're planting a branch of friends that they can rise on Rodrigo. And to Rodrigo to me, Fede Valverde that defensive cover. But rather, I also focus on the can rise. Martinelli, Benya, Fede Valverde, 1 versus 1. So, in the Arsenal game, no, centrally, Omu Kriti. From the wide area, left side, right side, Omu Kriti. And to prove further, na member of further proof about Asema Mekano. Yenshe Arsenal attacking side. Kweku, Badaro Mankabe to Mabe Mama Mia. On say football attacking sides, no, either side would be attacking from the left, from the middle, and also right. Say Enra Arsenal, Enya a balanced attacking side. Yeah. Left side on you're saying
32.
Middle you're saying
32.
Right side you're saying
36.
After the one who balance.
Yeah.
On say team you attack, on say left side near more. By Enra in the case of Arsenal, how almost setting up no left side you 32%, middle you 32, right side 36. Until when you balance attack, that's the reason why Enra Arsenal 11 attempt to score. Emu 8 on target, and only 3 goals. The third goal, a 16 sequence of passes from David Raya. Kosi said the Marino Eshego no. Omo pass a ball in 16 times. Now Real Madrid are conceded 3. Now the goalkeeper says 5. Enra enya Courtois, Real Madrid betima concede more than 5 goals.
True.
Courtois he saves in 5. So Enra Arsenal attacking third, no more exceptional. Defensively, solid display by Arsenal. Enra when attack more, enya Arsenal.
Okay.
Enra when they create chances more, Arsenal. When they control game more, Arsenal. By all a team, or cover distance kese on the field of players, say Arsenal. And the Arsenal say Olusubo na or say proactive, mami Arsenal distance covered. Never try Real Madrid. Real Madrid nanka beka say yes and bebrebe no. I will defend nanka what's Real Madrid mum. E cover distance kese by Enra. Arsenal e cover 113.9 kilometers. Real Madrid are no all defending or cover 101.2 kilometers. Enra Arsenal distance covered. Difference are no Real Madrid one. 12.7. So defensively, na Arsenal great. Individually, Enra Thomas Partey. Enra Thomas Partey e boss in fin ho. Partey jin fin fine. Calmness, ye defendi a Partey ni, ye attack a Partey ni, na o ye tempo setter. E wo game nim. Enra na Partey e de sa calmness neba. Obi to say Luis Kelly. Excellent display by him. And Abrante ye friend say Declan Rice. On him said na Real Madrid for air practice set pieces, corner kick. And a boy be floaty. By timer, free kicks never to hono. So what ya? Arsenal for set piece coach. Jova. In strate Arsenal. Declan Rice must say omon floaty bono. Omon for ball ninkum. And when a Bukayo Saka catch Declan Rice say. So what ya now bet mabo direct free kick aboshe. So individual brilliance. And a man Declan Rice dominated, to be honest with you. Enra Arsenal. Now omo better than Real Madrid. And you say Real Madrid for your blame games. And what's that way your Madrid near accept to say? See my Enra who face no. Now Arsenal better than Real Madrid. Every aspect of the game. Now Arsenal better. Kitwe be on a game no. Barcelona against Dortmund. Kwa kuminim analysis a obeya obeka say Dortmund your favorite. To me Barcelona your favorite. But dia ba kwa say Barcelona very careful you say. Unim say this season in the UEFA Champions League every away match be a Dortmund shegu. Every away match be a Dortmund shegu. Omo are very aggressive. Omo go attacking football. Omo good players. Karim Adeyemi ever running with his speed. Julian Brandt as an old-fashioned creative midfielder. Then Obaba Benya Ayo Gurasi. I will bet my pick high balls in but to be honest, I feel Barcelona ever winning game way. 2025 Barcelona form mentally Barcelona for how many abre a game I mean person may have who be. To me, Yami Adu match the better game you know. Mimi when say Barcelona ever win this game way and your opportunity. Ye per season bia. Mimi when say Barcelona beat Marco UEFA Champions League final this season.
Almost held the big one against Inter Milan.
Them say Inter game any over so.
No, sir.
Oh yeah, by still na Inter in favor. But to be honest with you, semi per season na Barcelona beat Marco UEFA Champions League final this season. And the last time I'm watching Germany, I believe Barcelona and form no say analysis be Barcelona ebenya ni win. And I was Barcelona qualify ne. And this one the signal do na arena. Barca be qualifier and then Barcelona beat match and the 3 and the 4. By making sure say ometre hono one in here say every away match Dortmund should go this season in the UEFA Champions League. A win for Barcelona.
Biggie. Continue.
Koku Enra Arsenal and Real Madrid. I hear about Kwame Mihu and say there was definitely going to be that time and there's going to be a defeat like this. And I stay in the face of Real Madrid. But the woman said, who didn't come on and now the Madrid home command? And you have Champions League pet, it was so shuffle. Based on the history and the performance of the Real Madrid team. It's a nuntino. Now my assembly cannot kwa again. So because say Arsenal kwa Real Madrid. A convincing result of scoreline. A bad thing to with me akasa. But so what Real Madrid this particular season for the first time in the history of Real Madrid both group stages of the Champions League omo lose 3 matches. Ne been to Real Madrid da our Champions League mu. Eti Madrid bo ko ni ja ye di omudi. Some Madrid bought Champions League and the money more conquering, the money more was thrown. So we lose 3 matches for group stages, and to Madrid. But this particular season, Kwaku, a bit to Real Madrid. It's right from the group stages. There were certain signs are not actually. But then again, a bit group stage say I wouldn't mean kind of cassia, and I'm a kind say a young Real Madrid didn't see. Oh, can now I Japan to Honawa Castle because it is the Champions League and the Champions League, no, and the Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti in Real Madrid this particular season, our performance in big games at the same. Say domestically, say Champions League, matches are tough. The Real Madrid meaning another difficult games, most of them data Real Madrid waiting here winning. It's Madrid, no, Madrid. Madrid, they said the Madrid was our Champions League. This season in the Champions League, big games, difficult games for Real Madrid. I am not a date to Madrid, they win it. This season in the Champions League, Liverpool are 2-0. It was in the Champions League this season. Lille are 1-0. It was in the Champions League this season. Otina Fiema, AC Milan, Coco 3-1. It was in the Champions League this season. AC Milan, Equatia Madrid 3-1. No, not throughout the season. AC Milan in Timmy winning match away. But Otimi Koye, Santiago Bernabeu, Equatia Real Madrid 3-1. And anything that make us say, defeats like this was staring in the face of Real Madrid right from the start of the Champions League. But now, Kwakwa Madrid is oh, can Nane Kana Kwakwa BB or as we speak, Madrid are losing 5 matches in the Champions League this season. The last time it happened to Real Madrid was in 2000-2001 season. And they beat Real Madrid. So over Champions League in a single campaign, now Madrid are losing 5 matches. At Madrid this particular season. Until clearly, Real Madrid now and Modema you saw more bono. Yeah, share them with somebody mono this particular season in the Champions League. But once it is the Champions League and it has gotten to the knockout stage, Ube Strosa Ube Kani Bebre. Ebium, so one young to me for more baby Carlo Ancelotti in the film Kwaku. One of the biggest mistakes, I mean, who say Carlo Ancelotti, yeah, and it's a woody player. I find Federico Valverde, Ecobo as a right back. In a sense that this season, yes, season national, there were players for Real Madrid that are not more than one conquering. Player Bako of those players, Brandt and your friend Trameni more than Mona and yet. But in the last few weeks, so I have one of the players are improving the Real Madrid prior to Trameni. It's Trameni Nim Fin Honum. Now, Kwako bought such a big game against Arsenal. A game I want Casa with Trim no Akumum. When say there, Arsenal dominated play. And dear, not just a definitely you are going to defend. And I didn't come on now. And command I can say, I had there Arsenal never control game. It is Arsenal control game now. You are going to need players for me energetic. I won't feel for them because they will die game in Arsenal. Now I know more to me a chasing game in a mouth. I won't feel now Arsenal take control. Your engine is broken and a better gain the amount. Clearly it happened. Who did Luka Modric Coco Boom Finfi? The energy levels are low. Kamavinga performance net saying. And the Traman in one man. Now me feel some Calipo over Finfi or Pie Federico Valverde. Because he combines everything in midfield. But Carlo Ancelotti decided for none of the Brandt and about the right back. And about them they are on countless occasions. Yes, are you true? But even with that, the defensive line of Real Madrid not ended bad. Thibaut Courtois had to save them on a couple of times. But for Courtois, Ebian can come here, Ebian can 5-0 and nothing can 6-0 come on. Courtois had to come to the party for Real Madrid. No, yes, saves in and one of the players they said Declan Rice set piece in the here, you know. Because they're not asking anybody now. Almost create chances, they be not and share. Set piece in the better. Declan Rice about Babijina home. Who game? That's a near difficult at the Mawa. Who create chances, but on to me, shall not go scoring a problem. You are going to need players to make me stand to the test. Big guys, Ben and Eba party, Nama Real Madrid on the day. On the part of Arsenal, Declan Rice Babijina home. From West Ham, Edinburgh Arsenal. Abraham said about 338 games on share direct free kick that. And now in a Champions League night against Real Madrid, and then we are seeing in action in 12 minutes. Abraham initiated 2 free kick goals. And Edinburgh Arsenal Bokuna. Now the Monday more was so. Thomas Day Party did very well. Abraham said about Quanam ye impressed with the performance. And your Mars Louis Kelly. Seriously speaking, Mimi feel say. And now, man, for a train said the bigger test for the player or be handle the same. It's the Cristiano Ronaldo, Manchester United, and Arsenal, and the Kieran Gibson, same in 2008, example. Obe domestically, Ube performing, but at the big stage, we are seeing in a show, saying a performance in the bay. And for me, I believe say Arsenal players, did very well. They came to the party, they won, and it is a winner. It is going to live on the minds of the Arsenal supporters. So say AB another big defeat in BBC. Kudos to the Arsenal team, they did very well. Kwaku Barcelona game, Adia ba ko say Barca ewo ebie bia so the baby ti Borussia Dortmund mo boko no. Or Barcelona. Omo treble chase is still on course. That alone is a motivation enough so on Dortmund. Dortmund on the other hand, as a coach, it's managerially, technically, they've been done inconsistent with Borussia Dortmund team nimo. But Niko Kovac buy Waboka from 10th position on the league log, which is domestically league nimo or the Mamba that 8th. Yes, and ya bia so. But in the Champions League, about 4 matches the Diama Borussia Dortmund. 4 on Lucy. The money you so say in all those 4 matches now, 2 away. And Okokonya wins no. Wa draw 2 and wa win 2. 2 ni nyina no Okoko win wa away. Inti Barcelona are very careful. Na Sadio na mbitu omo. Barca has the quality and Lewandowski should be at the party. The former club, he knows them very well. Aside that, one of the teams that Lewandowski has shown more the career Mupai Borussia Dortmund. Only almost share 27 times. Was share 27. Inti I'm hoping say ebe there. Obey 28/28. Na niema kon kan dia Barcelona. The individual quality should do the magic for Barca because Dortmund side ne so no key and quality players. Rotterbeck no money ade out omo injured omo ntimi nsia kan ni bi. I'm looking for a straight win for Barcelona.